Assalamu alaikum. Right, I want to talk about something quite strategic at the moment, right? There's a growing body of evidence, I mean massive amounts of evidence, both anecdotal and research, that shows that Jewish Zionism and Jewish Zionist power is being used to stoke up Western white nationalism. Both in the comments of Netanyahu, you couldn't really separate between the most right-wing groups in America, to the funding by Jewish billionaires of the Islamophobia industry in America and Europe, connecting them all in a well-funded web against Muslims. And again, this has been exposed and researched. Not to mention the countless heads of Jewish organizations and white nationalist sentiment that have Jewish roots. Yeah, for example, Milo, he has Jewish roots. When it comes to Melanie Phillips, Jewish roots. All of these people that you see, if you research a lot of these, but a lot of them are connected to Judaism and Israel. To the main, these Jewish Zionists, it's undoubtedly now a giant growing body within the white racist movement, and pushing it, including their people within the media and politicians. Now, why would they do that? You've got to ask yourself. As a Muslim, it's incumbent upon us to try to understand what's going on geopolitically and try to understand at least our oppression. Yeah, what is going on? Now, I know what I'm about to say may get some calls by Jewish Zionists saying that this is anti-Semitic, but I would argue, how dare they be part and parcel of the rise of white fascist racists that are killing Muslims in the West, murdering them, throwing acid on them, denying them jobs, destroying their economic livelihood. And at the same time, a man who tries to understand it, anyone who tries to understand it, is silenced as a racist? No, we are combating racism. We are overthrowing and trying the oppression that Jewish Zionists in part are involved with. And we have a right to try to understand that. Any attempt at trying to shut that understanding down with the manufactured slur of anti-Semitism is just that, a propaganda tool, a weaponized word to try to deny Muslims ever the chance to speak and understand our plight. And even if I'm wrong, then it's still allowed, it's still legitimate for me to try to decipher, to decode what is really going on. Jewish Zionists do not have the monopoly on what is right and wrong, and what I can say and what I am allowed to say. If it offends them, then so be it. Yeah, my concern is not the offence that it causes certain members of the Jewish community. My concern is the freeing from oppression of my Muslim brothers and sisters. Why would Jewish Zionists try to stoke up a beast that is in the past killed everything that is not itself? This ideology of white nationalism that has plagued Europe, that has cost so many lives of Muslims and other peoples around the world. And that should be asked. It's strange, isn't it, that Muslims don't ask that question. No Muslim leader has probably asked this that you would have heard of, and certainly none that I've heard of. Why is that? They're so thick. You know, our religious leaders are so stupid that they're more interested in, you're more likely to hear about, you know, how high your trousers are or what foot you can enter the toilet with, than massive geopolitical questions like this. And it just shows the level of intellectual bankruptcy of Islamic leaders in the UK and Europe, anywhere around the world, to be fair. And I would argue it's this. This is my thoughts on it from my understanding as it is, and I'd like to hear yours. I'd like to hear your counters, even if you disagree. I'm more than open-minded to hear if I'm wrong on this. Jewish Zionism, involved in the global elite as it is, the neoliberal world order as it is, in propping that up, they were content in using that world order to destroy the Muslim world. The neocons, for example, many of them, most of them Jewish, were more than instrumental in the destruction of Iraq. Yeah, the world order that destroyed Iraq is now set about destroying the Muslim world from one end of the war of terror, from Palestine to Pakistan. So that's all very well. Why do they need to now move power bases? Why do they start to prop up white nationalism? Why move that way? Why join that movement, considering the dangers to themselves if it ever succeeded? And the reason is simple. Jewish Zionism understands that as long as they back liberalism and neoliberal thought, they were more than happy to destroy the Muslim world, but that there would always be a resistance to destroying the Muslims within the West, at least overtly. They could do it covertly by denying us jobs, etc., ensuring that we were at the bottom of the economic ladder, constantly demonized outsider, which you can see they're doing. But as far as actually, getting rid of us, wiping us out, ethnically cleansing us, so to speak, that would never occur under the neoliberal agenda. And they had to make that happen. Why? Because as Muslims now entered third, fourth, fifth generation Muslims, we were starting to penetrate institutions of power. So, for example, we were becoming lawyers, we were becoming doctors, we were joining the media outlets, we were joining political parties. And although we were not a threat to white power, we were a threat to Jewish Zionist power, because ultimately we would never allow Israel to remain unchallenged as an argument in the Western corridors of power if we ever became a force there. And they knew it. They can see, they have think tanks well in advance to understand any demographic or power shift, power threat to them. Strange, isn't it, how thick we are and our leaders are that we didn't see it. So what they have to do then is they have to ensure that this demographic power threat to Jewish Zionism is neutralized, is destroyed. They have already set about destroying the Muslim world, and they must destroy the Muslims in the West if ever that threat, so that threat never become real, it never materializes. So that's why you see this co-opting, this attempt at trying to join, to covertly subvert the Jewish nationalist movement to become a right-wing white nationalist movement to become a right-wing Jewish right-wing nationalist movement. And that's why you see them co-opting people like Tommy Robinson, and you see these marches which would normally be as anti-Muslim, anti-black and anti-Jewish as anyone else, now saying no, we're not actually anti-anything apart from anti-Muslim, and with Jewish banners there, Jewish Israeli banners flying amongst the white racist banners. That cannot occur unless there is a co-opting of the white movement. Anyone who knows anything about the white nationalist thinkers, look at David Duke, etc., is they hate Jews just as much as they hate Muslims. They were never going to allow their movement to be co-opted by Jews. And that's why the BNP leader, Nick Griffin, exposed when Jewish Zionists came to him and said that, look, we want to work with you and we'll pay you, we'll fund you, we'll make your party massive. You will be the dominant power. You will be the rising star, but you must work with us. And when he refused, they destroyed him and set a rival up, the EDL. Tommy Robinson was more than happy, recently flew out to Israel, more than happy to work with him. Geert Wilders, another example, a white nationalist working with Jewish Zionists to further both their interests. And so as long as the white nationalist movement remains true to white nationalism, to the white tribe, it will be suppressed, it will be destroyed. And that's what you're seeing in America. They haven't been able to co-opt David Duke and people who follow him, and so they want to destroy that movement. But trust me, as much as they will destroy the leaders in that movement, tomorrow, when they find a leader who is willing to work with them, that movement again will rise, yeah? And they will push that. So what you're seeing around Europe is the rise of white nationalism, aided by the media, aided by Jewish Zionist power within that media, my argument, and the simultaneous attempt at co-opting and working alongside that white power movement. Jewish Zionism embedding itself, becoming the leaders of the white nationalist movement. Now you might find this fascinating and say, "Oh, this is unbelievably stupid. This is how could you even think that they would do such a thing?" But you know, here's something for you to know. Did you know that the leading black organization that fought for civil rights, NAACP, I think it is, right, was funded and created by Jews? Now you think about that. Could Malcolm X create the AIPAC, for example? Would a black guy, a non-Jew, create the biggest Jewish organization in America? No. But Jews created the biggest black organization and led it, and were later found out to be spying on the black members and feeding it back up to the American military. So here you have it. Don't think that it hasn't occurred in history. It has happened time and time and time again. And Jewish Zionists are well versed in how to do this. Yeah. Louis Farrakhan recently exposed there's the same thing, where Jewish Zionists came to him and said, "We want to work with you. You must stop saying certain things and say other things, and we will make you powerful. And if you don't, then we'll destroy you, make you a marginal figure, make you hated within society." So there's the possible game, the chess move that you're seeing in a geopolitical world. It's something for you guys to think about, something for you guys to be analysed, and something for Muslims from our own perspective to start to consider. That's the one thing that we do wrong. We always leave it to the left and the liberals, and whatever they're happy with, whatever they say, you can say we were right with. If they say, "Oh, you can't say that," then we shut up about. We've got our own minds. Muslims can make their own analysis, and we have a legitimate right to do that. And it's time that Muslims start to do that. We don't have to listen to liberals. We don't have to listen to the left. I'm not against the left, but I'm saying we have the right to speak our minds and analyze things and understand the world the way we want to. Whether it's right or wrong, it's our attempt, a Muslim attempt, to understand the world and how it's being shaped. Thanks for listening. Love to hear your comments.